Everybody clap your hands.
Hello everybody, Artfinity here, and I'm back with another drawing video. And this time I'm not joined by just one, but two of my consciences.
Yay!
I am the conscience from the south.
Story with Rosalina. In my last video, I made a drawing and I'm like, hey y'all, if you have any suggestions, let me know and I might draw them and I'll also credit you for it. So this drawing's credit goes to
Everyone.
it goes to all of thank you for watching from viewers like you. It goes to Creative Chuli. But yeah, so thanks Chuli for suggesting Rosalina. Pretty much the idea I was going for with this drawing is drawing Rosalina, and I've never actually drawn a princess character before because I'm one of those kids that grew up watching Dragon Ball Z and Zero Disney, so I'm like, what is a princess?
What? You've drawn yourself and Crow? Like, pretty princesses.
Crow's a princess confirmed. The spoilers. But yeah, like
I love how you just skim over the fact that I said that you drew you as a pretty princess.
I knew you were manly.
Anyway, I was making a speed paint and there was two problems with it. One is this drawing took 22 hours to record, and when you're recording at extremely high resolution at 60 FPS, OBS tends to and when it goes the footage gets corrupted, and I lost about the first third of it that I did on a live stream. So I was like, if I already lost a third of it, just screw it, I'll just work on the drawing. So you're like, hey, what if instead of a speed paint I made a breakdown? So this is a breakdown video where I'm pretty much just going to go through all these layers and all the decisions I made and talk about how I did what I did and why I did it and why I didn't stop when I realized it was a bad idea.
When you said that this was that you were like, I lost the footage, so this is going to turn into a breakdown video. I just imagine you curled up in the corner, rocking back and forth, hugging your knees. Like,
it was
Yeah, you're like, it'll be fine. It's fine.
I'm fine. It's fine. It's always fine. Pretty much like the footage looks like this. It's just all green. There's still audio, so if you want to hear 10 hours of want to hear 10 hours of that, you know, we have plenty of that. But in regards to drawing,
That's your pen.
yeah. Here is the original sketch, and you can see as opposed to the final product, it's slightly different. So first I had this
slightly. Her head is like at a 45-degree angle in the other way.
Did you never just want to like whip your hair for dynamic effect? And she's like, I'm a princess, bruh. Hold on, I'm just getting rid of this part. So this is where I added the secondary sketch detail thing, so it would actually line up with what's there now. So you'll see, like in this one, I'm just going to make it red for visibility. That's actually the one where I realigned the gesture because yeah, like I was working on the drawing and I was like, hey, I can make this better, so I redid it. And then I have a couple of other guidelines, like here's for the floof. On the dress, I had a guideline for that. I had a guideline for the Luma. You'll see it's not in the same place, but that's because I moved it. You'll find it do that a lot. Yeah. And now with the drawing, hold on, I'm just going to make everything invisible and then we'll just work our way up. Luma! 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 Oh, and speaking of the pose, that wasn't the first iteration, so I had that one for the general pose. I think I duplicated it in case I messed up. No, wait, no, this one's different. I moved the knee. So you'll see like in this one, the knee's lower. In this one, the knee's higher. And it's like more refined. Then from there, I made it transparent. And then I worked on the actual pose. And that is the pose before this pose. And I also moved that one. I kind of just zoomed in more. So it filled up the piece and make for a more pleasing composition. So those are the sketches. And then here we have the background. I pretty much just like used a lot of soft brush and this splatter brush. Hold on, if it'll There we go. So yeah, just that splatter of brush, and then I went to
It looks like blood. Is that your blood?
I kill princesses. So filter, blur, Gaussian blur, and then it's like, oh wow, do enough of that. It looks like space. Then there's
See, the
some
thing
color.
is, if it is Skittles' blood, I could completely believe it because he'd be like drawing this and being like, "I want to die," and then like coughing blood onto the tablet.
And it's all red here because I didn't actually see it because that's where Rosalina was. Then just some overlays.
Or is that the smearing of your blood?
You don't
That was
paint with your
him-
own blood?
That was him pressing Rosalina into the canvas and like rocking her up and down, like paint it for me.
Painted. And then I just added a texture to make it look like space, and it's like, oh, that's nice. And that's just with the texture brush that I have here. All of these you can probably like either I made or Kyle made, because that Kyle brush dude is a wizard. Oh wait, hold on, I should be using my tablet for this, huh? Not the map. Yeah, you see, nice, lovely textures that you can paint in and be like, wow, that looks like space. And then here's a star path. That's for the Luma, so that'll make more sense when the Luma's in. This is a layer that apparently has a single dot on it, because everybody has to have one of those. Here are more overlays just to make the like blood saturated look of space more complete. This was an outer glow, I think, just for the focal point, so Rosalina's like head stands out against the back more. Then here's the Luma. And you'll see like, and here is evidence article number 1 of a Luma like exploding Rosalina, because turns out she's like every other human being and she will detonate in the vacuum of space. So now I'm just going to bring Rosalina back, and then we'll just toggle through the different things because that'll probably make more sense. So, crown, which is just there. I actually drew a single gem, and then it was just in black and white, and then I added some color filter stuff to like make them different colors, and it's like, wow. And then those yellow ones were drawn separately. But yeah, there's the crown, and I just have some reflected light on an overlay layer. You're going to see I use overlay layers a lot, so there's just a little bit of reflected light because she blonde. And while I was going through this a lot, I actually colored this layer yellow just to be like, oh, that's a hair layer. Just because I kept losing it and just the mass of all this stuff. So yellow for the hair layers.
Do either of you think that Rosalina actually really suits it when you turn that layer off and like her hair is short? Like, ooh, ooh, nice.
Rosalina alternate design, but she still has like those long hair strands because she didn't quite finish the haircut.
She missed a few. She missed a few spots.
Yeah, and then here I have a color balance layer just to make the yellow more yellow. I usually like paint it all, and then I add the overlays in last. Here's the dress back, which is just like the back part of the dress. So you'll see like there's the blood red of space covered by the dress. Then the skin layer, that's just the skin layer that has everything except the forearm on it, because that part was in front of the hair, and just for layering reasons that was a mess. Then here, just have some color corrections. So here, can't even see what this one is. I think that's just to make her like slightly more rosy. Gotta make her more rosy, Lena. I'll leave now. Socks, which was here. So the socks I actually made slapping 2 different brushes together. These I actually made for the sake of the drawing. So let me just go ahead and create a thing. So it's pretty much the same design, but I had like a pattern star pattern, which is like, oh, it follows a path and then you can do whatever. And then I had a scattered star pattern, which is like the same stamp. It's just, you know, you mess with the settings over here, and then you're like, it does different things now. Woo! Yeah. Then the dress.
You missed the star. It's still there.
What star? What?
The white one.
Oh, that one?
E.
It's fine. The drawing's done. We can ruin it now. And then here's just her dress. It was originally toothpaste colored, so I just added a couple of different filters a couple of different times. I just went over here to, you know, color balance, and then you can, you know, you can alternate. You can be like, oh, hey, I want her to be Rosalina today, or like, oh, hey, let's make her Princess Peach today. You know, just stuff like that. You can change the colors, so I made it look significantly less like toothpaste, and it was great. And yeah, this is stars here. Just to get that star pattern, I added it to the sleeves. And then over here, I hope there's a thing on here. There is. I think that's a layer I forgot to delete. It says that the only thing on it is just this frill pattern from another custom brush I made. So this is the...
What are you talking about? That's clearly the most important layer.
Yeah, so there's a single frill hiding behind. It's like, oh no, send me back to safety.
I love the fact that you made it. Not only did you make it and you left the layer in, you left it on. You left it on in the final thing.
Yeah, because here at Artfinity Incorporated, we are highly efficient. And then you'll just see here for the accents, that's just the roses. The way that I actually made these is I'll just show you right quick. So,
Skittles committed masochism.
You know, y'all keep saying that. It make me think that you mean something.
You hand painted all these roses.
Yeah, I wish I made a custom brush for that, but I was just stupid there. So what I did is, hold on, let's give her an alternate, like, floral pattern. Let's add one on this side. And then move it a couple of layers up. There we go. So what I did is I did this, and then I added in a bunch of rose designs, which are just, turns out it's just a bunch of squigglies like this. I thought it'd be, like, more complicated than it is, but when you add that many, it's just like... Anyway, so you add a bunch of roses like this, and we'll just pretend that I did a good job on the rest of it. But anyway, so I did this, and then I got a smudge brush, and then I just kind of follow the edge of that to add shading, and it's like, wow, such complex shading. That's why. Then just a soft brush to increase the shadows. And then I line art them again. And then, you know, a couple, 2 or 3 layer filters later, they look like this. And then it's great. And then you hate yourself. But it's fine. And then I added the sheer fabric here. So first there was the base, which is just like... so I'd know where it went. Here is just more star pattern. Then the sleeves. So I separated the sleeves. So there's like a sleeve back here. And then there's like the rest of the sleeve on different layers. Oh, and I didn't explain this part, how I did that with the skirt. This part. So...
How dare you not explain that to us?
I mean, I'm gonna show you right now. It will forever be a mystery and no one will ever know. So first thing I did is I just made it a flat base like this, you know, for the skirt. And then I created a new layer. I got the frill brush that I made here. I made it directional. So that way, let me just make it the size it's supposed to be. So I actually drew this pattern out on a separate layer, then merged it down with this layer, and then I colored it. So then it looks like it has a detailed rim on the skirt. And you're like, wow, that's so fancy. Then I also did that a lot over here and on this like floof part of the dress there. So you'll see like
I
that's...
should give you my lace brushes to see what you could do with them. I made so many.
I'd find a use for them. Trust me. Okay, so I named some of my layers, but then I merged them down. And then that's where it gets lost in translation. So as you can see here, layer 24 is critically important. I just added more stars. Because I'm like, ooh, texture is your friend. I just used the selection tool. Yeah, I just used the selection tool to make sure that they wouldn't, like, fly everywhere. Just be like, wahoo! But they more or less stay inside the lines, and there you go! Earring 2, which is totally just a replica of earring 1, only I free transformed it, and I changed a little bit of the shading, but you'll see, like, it's the same earring.
That earring is just like, everybody dance now! Bam, bam, bam.
Here's hair floof, and then here's the rest of her hair, and then here's her best imitation of Britney Spears.
Rosalina is she's having a moment.
Yeah, so I actually separated the hair into like the foreground and background just so it'd make it easier to color. So let's color code this, folks, for fun.
Ooh, Rosalina's a brunette.
Yeah, so you'll see like the other yellow part is its own layer, and then this part's its own layer. Again, I made this one yellow too. You can change and add layer colors by right-clicking, and then you click on one of these. So if I wanted to make it, well, looks like brunette isn't an option, so let's just go with orange. We'll go with that sweet Naruto orange.
Gotta
yeah.
say, like, Rosalina looks. She looks like a better blonde than Peach and a better brunette.
She needs to be stopped. And then just color correct, because this is just when I was painting it, I made it more of a platinum blonde. And I was like, you know, she kind of already looks like a Super Saiyan 3. Might as well embrace it. In the reference images, just for if we're gonna be accurate here, folks, her hair only falls to about here. But you know, this is to go even further beyond. And I have the hand here, which is its own separate thing. So you see, like, it just pops out.
Oh my god.
It kind of looks like the hand in like that famous painting, the one where it's like, is it like Adam and God or whatever?
Oh, like where he's reaching his hand out. It's like, yeah, the creation.
Yeah, and except whenever I think of it, I think of the Death Note version with Light and Ryuk.
Can you poke the Luma with that hand? Can you poke the tummy? The Luma tummy.
Oh.
Squeeze.
Yes. Hold on. Wait. Let's just flip this horizontally and then poke. And then I just had a color balance on that, because on the other one I did like a more rosy color filter, so I just added it there too. And then here's the sleeve frill, which is just another brush I made.
You sound so frilled.
Get out. I'll just make it red for visibility, but again, another frill brush I made. It's pretty much just a stamp of this, and then it loops all over, and it's like, wow, and then yay, and it's directional, so you can add it freaking everywhere. Hold on, even he's like, he's having a festive time too.
That doesn't look festive. That looks like, you know, he's stolen Rosalina's underwear and has put it on his head. Just immediately.
Did you just have to ruin his good time? He was having a good time, and then, man.
Yeah, well, he'll use the sleeve now. Sleeve's just in the foreground, just because, again, for layering reasons, like her arm and her this and that. So that's why that's there. And then the jewelry, that's a heckin' chunk of a layer. We have this metal star here, which I'm sure she needs to be really careful, because if she like angles her side wrong, she's just gonna maybe that's where all that space blood came from. And then there's the one on the bodice of the dress, which is just here, and then there's like under shading there. But yeah, there's that.
And you lowered that one because it was going to be like a hazard to her chest.
Okay, what I don't get is, like, in the original design, it's like here, and it's like there, and proportionally that big. She's gonna... 1 second. This is how Mario Party's gonna end, folks.
She falls once, like, oh my god, Mario! It's everywhere!
Mario, tell your brother Luigi that he was my favorite the whole time. And then I think this is just color correction, so it's just making the blues deeper blue. What's this? That's the highlights in the hair. Nothing too fancy there. And then, oh, I just realized, like, the star is still messed up. Yeah, whatever.
Yep, she looks like she got her heart stolen.
You stole my star. What, my heart? Mi corazón! And then there's, I think this was on her eye. Just like subtle highlight for the blue, just to make it like radioactive blue, and like she's staring into your soul. And then that was just on the outer edges for the white, because blooming light is your friend. And then here we just have the sketch and the that and the this again. But yeah, that is the breakdown of the drawing. But yeah, thank y'all for watching. I don't usually do breakdown videos, but let me know what you think of them. Yeah. Bye!
Let's give them a round of applause.